Hello students, welcome to EduTap. I'm Surbhi and this is Perspective 360 Degree, your one-stop solution for current affairs, descriptive writing and answer writing evaluation. If the audio is clear to you and the screen is clear, kindly let me know in the chat section, send a thumbs up, all clear or whatever you feel like. So yes, all of you. Just to tell you, this initiative is to guide you for regulatory bodies examinations, descriptive part of your exam. We just do not cover the important issues in current affairs which can form questions in your final exam, but we also provide you with free evaluation services. How do we do that? Under this video in the YouTube comment section, you can post your answers. You can write your answer on your own after watching this discussion, and for the next 48 hours you can post your answers in that comment section and our team experts evaluate your answers entirely free of cost. So yes, entirely free of cost initiative this is. Kindly keep sending your answers, keep sending all the responses well in time. So all of you, kindly let me know if the audio is clear. I can't see any messages here, though there are a lot of people who are online. So yes, is the audio clear to you? Is the video clear to you, all of you? All right, Divine Soul. Okay. So let's proceed with today's discussion. Since you clicked on the thumbnail, so you already know what the topic is. The topic is crop residue management. Who's right and who's plight? So how many of you feel basically crop residue, what it is? The remains that are left behind after the crop is cut, after the yield has been taken, after the crop which is required that has been taken away. So whatever residue is left behind, what to do with it? Most farmers in the few years back, they like to burn it. Many of them still like to put fire to it, but there are problems of air pollution arising. And as you know that under Article 21 of Constitution, which is right to life, living in clean environment or right to non-polluted air is covered under Article 21, that is right to life. So who's right and who's plight? Now the government has been demanding farmers that they should not be burning crop, rather they should be employing different techniques, shifting it somewhere else, or different management techniques for this crop residue should be there to safeguard right to life of people so that they can breathe in clean and fresh air. So now who's right and who's plight? Farmers don't like it and rights of everybody are affected. So let's see what is the news regarding this topic. From 13th October, this is quite a bit old. Principal Secretary to Prime Minister calls for crop residue management to combat NCR air pollution. So very much in line with what I told you right now. This has been covered by the Mint. So various newspapers have published news regarding crop residue or burning of crop residue, which is known as parali in local language. So various news has come up from time to time, and here are some of the headlines that you can see. So Rajasthan Agriculture Department takes steps to discourage farmers from burning stubble. That is another news. Then in Punjab, meet the man who transforms crop residue into green energy. This was a complete full-on coverage by the Indian Express of a man who provided methods to convert crop residue into green energy. So why are these headlines useful for us? You will know as we proceed in the answer. Then Punjab Agriculture University promotes integrated farming and crop residue management. That is one of the news. Okay, I'll take your doubts in a while. First of all, let's look at relevance of today's topic for NABARD Grade A. For all the viewers of Perspective 360 Degree, you might be wondering that we are specifying, we are focusing on NABARD specific topics. Yes, that's right. NABARD Phase 2 is well in November. So till Phase 2 actually happens for NABARD Grade A aspirants, our topics would be focused regarding around NABARD Grade A syllabus, and then we'll go back to RBI Grade B syllabus and overlapping topics between NABARD, RBI and SEBI. But today's topic is useful for you whether you're preparing for any of the exams. How is it useful? I'll show you in the syllabus. So Paper 2, Section 1, that is Economic and Social Issues. If you look at it, agriculture, characteristics, status, technical and institutional changes in Indian agriculture makes up a great part of your syllabus. You can also relate it with environment, management. For example, when we talk about, let's say, RBI Grade B, for RBI Grade B, you can definitely relate it with Indian agriculture, but here you can also relate it with environmental issues. All right. And for SEBI Grade A, sadly, there is no direct topic from this particular issue that can be seen in your syllabus. But for English writing skills, you should be very well versed with crop residue management as a topic. All right. So first of all, let's look at the expected question. What do you think the expected question can be like, especially for those of you who are sitting for NABARD Grade A exam? So they can ask you, what is crop residue management? I think that is very much clear. What is that? So they can, they're basically putting in there a statement that inadequate disposal of crop residue can result in detrimental environmental impacts. Discuss some widely adopted approaches to crop residue management and examine some government initiatives aimed at enhancing its efficiency. Answer for 600 words, that is for 15 marks. I'll read this out again for you. Inadequate disposal of crop residue can result in detrimental environmental impacts. So basically this first part is just a statement, and whenever we have statement based answers and there is no question in the first line, what do? We use these statements to frame our introduction. So basically, if I use this statement as the basis that yes, inadequate disposal of crop residue can result in harmful or detrimental environmental impacts, I can very well frame my introduction around this line and then proceed on to answering the actual question. So what is the actual question? Discuss some widely adopted approaches to crop residue management, part 1, and examine some government initiatives aimed at enhancing its efficiency. This is part 2 of the question. So I think we are very much sorted with division of the question. Let's see what answer blueprint says, where we will fit our various parts of the answer and how. Obviously, first start with an introduction. Second, in your main body, have the subheading 1, that what are the various methods for crop residue management. In the subheading 2, talk about government initiatives, and in the conclusion, give a way forward, that if there are so many government initiatives in place, if there are so many methods in place, which we will be discussing in body part 1, then why does crop residue still get burnt? Why is it not being put to good uses even as of now, even after so many years? So we will give a way forward. We'll identify the situation, the solutions will be given, and we will talk in very much real terms. One thing that you have to focus on here is you don't have to talk against the farmers, because that's where our economy depends, that's where our agriculture depends. So you cannot be directing the farmers. Obviously, you cannot direct the government, but you cannot blame the farmers, or you cannot order the farmers in your answer that they should be doing this or that. All right, we have to analyze this issue. We have to study crop residue management from a very balanced perspective. All right, so let's break the answer down into 4 parts. The first, introduction. As I told you, this will be covering the first line. We'll paraphrase it. We'll talk about it. So we'll talk about crop residue management and harmful effects of crop residue management. I will give this 60 words at max, since my answer is for 600 words. So 10 to 12% of your word limit can be ascribed to your introduction. Okay, here just keep in mind that don't start to define what is crop residue. Don't start defining what is crop residue management, because these are very, very basic terms. If you start with their definition, the examiner will be entirely, completely turned off. So she will not like your answer, the start of your answer. Instead, start your answer on a very boosted level, on a very good quality level. If you have some keywords to talk about, mention them in the introduction. If you have some data to talk about, mention that in the introduction itself. Okay, don't keep your introduction boring just because you feel anxiety of starting with an introduction. If you ever feel anxious regarding introduction, how to write it, start writing the body parts first and start answering other parts of the question first, and then come back to introduction. So now, body part 1, methods of crop residue management. Body part 2 will be covering government initiatives, and then we will end up with a way forward. So focusing on the introduction, what is crop residue management? We all understand this. I've told this to you. So now let's talk generally about crop residue management. That yes, it is a challenging process for the entire country, not just from from agriculture point of view, but from environmental perspective also. And what does inefficient crop residue management entail? If you do not manage your crop residue properly in the country, then first of all, it can keep on lying there. It can release various toxic gases which can contribute to greenhouse effects. Secondly, most of the farmers, what they prefer is, if they see that there is a lot of crop residue after the harvesting of the crop that has been left behind, so what they do is they try to put fire to the field so that it is cleared off for next sowing cycle. Seeds for the next cycle can be actually sown on a clear land. So what happens? Many microbes die, many small insects die, which are very important for the health and fertility of soil. And fertility of soil also comes down, according to research which is there with us. So talk about such factors that talk about the detrimental environmental impacts, that soil degradation occurs, air pollution occurs, land degradation occurs, and biodiversity of soil that actually degrades. So talk about such factors and frame your introduction. It is very simple here, no rocket science involved. So first of all, ecologically sustainable and environmentally safe management of crop residue or agricultural waste is one of the major challenges in India. So we're starting on a lighter note. We are telling that yes, this is a very big challenge in India. How it is a major challenge, how it causes harmful effects, I will show you that how we frame such lines in the subsequent parts. So as you can see, it is highlighted here that it needs safe disposal and recycling. So harvesting, threshing and primary processing of crops. Where is crop residue coming from? From these three processes: harvesting, threshing and primary processing. They leave behind a variety of plant materials which need safe disposal and recycling. So you basically emphasized on that yes, there is high amount of crop residue here. And then talk about the problem. The biggest problem is that a large portion of the crop residues are burnt in the field, primarily to clear the field after the harvest of the preceding crop for the sowing of next crop. So this is, I think, very much clear that why do farmers burn the crop? Just so that they can sow the next crop clearly. And what are the harmful effects of this? So harmful effects can be phenomenal pollution problems in the atmosphere, huge nutritional loss and physical health deterioration to the soil. And see, here you've talked about all the particular harmful effects which can occur: soil degradation, air pollution. You've talked about it all in one sentence itself. But is it making my introduction very is it a weighted introduction? Does it carry enough amount of weight? I don't think so, because no keywords are here and no data points are here, no examples are here. So what I'll do is I'll add some keywords regarding, I'll pick one of the problems here, which will be the problem of pollution in atmosphere, that is air pollution. We will pick one of the problems and we will talk about some keywords related to that. For example, in air pollution, what can be the gases released? Gases causing greenhouse effect, gases causing respiratory issues, carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, nitrous oxide, things like that, or particulate matter, PM 2.5, PM 10, all these. Just mention these terms. These are very simple gases to remember. In our school time also, in our environment syllabus, we have studied about these gases, so use them to your advantage. Crop residue burning is a potential source of greenhouse gases and other chemically and radiative important trace gases and aerosols such as methane, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide and oxides of nitrogen and other hydrocarbons. If you cannot remember the names, don't worry about it. Talk about GHGs, that is greenhouse gases. Talk about methane, carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide. At least talk about these gases. If you cannot, talk about aerosols and hydrocarbons. Talk about the basic gases. That's what I want to say. Now this will be our linking point with the body. In the previous videos, we've not been focusing a lot on linking points because, we've been focusing a lot on content. But yes, linking points are necessary. The last line of your introduction should introduce the body, should be actually a linkage point with the body. So basically, what we are saying, the focus of government in recent times has been on effective management of crop residue. Obviously, the following are some of the popular methods of crop residue management. All right, so from here onwards, we will move to our Let's Delve Deeper section, which will cover the body part of this answer. That is body part 1. We'll be focusing on methods of crop residue management, and then we'll talk about government initiatives. So, if you have any doubts still here regarding the introduction, I'm displaying the introduction again in front of you. Kindly let me know in the chat section for any of the doubts that arise. Again, to give you a quick revision, we started talking about crop residue management generally. We said that this is a problem because it is coming from proper, that crop cycle actually generates this. Then what are we doing to this crop residue? We are burning it, which creates problems, and one of the problems has been picked up and talked about so that we get more weightage for this introduction. And then we have introduced a linking point. 4 or 5 lines of introduction, more than enough, and it is a very effective and a very impressive introduction for the examiner. If you have more points to add, kindly send to us in the, like right now you can send to me in the chat section. Otherwise, when you share your answers with us, kindly send us there. All right. Ma'am, how is soil fertility affected? It has been realized that, Akhila, when you burn crop residue, the nutritional levels of soil, they come down, because most of the vitamins or nutrients which are there in soil, they get affected because of high temperature. They break down into something else. High temperature of fire. All right, Divine, I'm not the, Divine, I can't comment on that. Arika, I've told you, if any one of you, if your answers are getting deleted, kindly take a screenshot and send to us at hello@edutap.co.in so that we can identify if there are any keywords in your answer which are forcing YouTube to delete your comments. So that is an error. That is an error from YouTube itself. Yes, Veenu ma'am, thank you. Then methods of crop residue management. Ananya, I'll come back to this. Okay. So approaches to crop residue management, that is our body part 1. So this is a headline from the Indian Express recently that it says that one farmer's crop residue which might appear waste product to him is another farmer's cattle field. Any farmer who has livestock with him or cattle is there with him, he does cattle farming. So this person's waste is actually this person's gold, or cattle field that we can call. So, basically the problem is not with generation of crop residue, the problem is with management of crop residue, and that is the problem in a country like India, especially in northern India, where it is leading to very conspicuous harmful effects. All right, so what are the approaches to crop residue management? There are 2 types of approaches. Either you do something with the crop residue on the farm field itself, either you turn it into manure, you turn it into some fertilizer, do something with it. The second option is, just pick it up, collect it, and take it to some other place so that it can be used for example, as cattle stock or feed for cattle. All right. So if some method is carried out inside the field itself, on the farm itself, that will be categorized as in situ effort. That means the practice of leaving crop residue in its natural state on the field. So it will lower down the danger of pests and diseases, and it can maintain the health and fertility of soil, since a lot of soil will be covered with very hard crop residue. Crop residue does not have a lot of nutrients, that is very hard, so pests and diseases do not infect that field, and also it helps to cover the entire field. The crop residue can cover the entire field. If you go back to this first slide, since it covers the entire field, so it helps the soil retain its moisture. Look at this. But the problem here is that how the seeds for next sowing cycle will be sown in such amount of crop residue. So that's the problem that we are incurring. So yes, there are solutions which can occur on the field and outside the field, and these are in situ and ex situ. Okay, so for in situ we've covered. For ex situ, that means you will collect the crop residue and you will take it somewhere else. So ex situ refers to removal of agricultural waste from the field for use as compost, firewood, and animal feed. So now in situ approaches to crop residue management. So let's study about some of the in situ methods. The first one is mulching. What is mulching? That you leave the crop residue on the soil surface itself to protect the soil from erosion and retain moisture. It will help to suppress weeds and provide nutrients to the soil. But the problem with mulching is that your field takes a very long time to be ready for the next sowing cycle. And in India, what are farmers doing? Farmers are highly dependent on agriculture, so they want that one crop, when it has been harvested, within the next few days they should be able to sow the seeds of next crop. All right, especially if I talk about North India, once the paddy cultivation or paddy has been harvested, that is rice has been harvested, the farmers want the fields to be ready for sowing of wheat. All right, so this is the problem with mulching. So mulching is one of the solutions. Just keep it there and it will turn into organic manure with time. Then there is no-till farming, that planting crops without disturbing the soil. Crop residue, basically it is left on the soil surface in this case, and seeds are planted through it. For example, if you have a lot of crop residue here, with the help of some machines, seeds can be planted inside the soil surface. So your upper surface is actually covered with the with the crop residue, but seeds can still be sown with the help of some machines. What it does, since the crop residue is covering the soil, so soil moisture will be conserved, and soil erosion will also be conserved. But again, farmers don't find it very much practical, because again, machines are expensive to buy for seeding, and the rents for machines are very high if they want to rent those machines. Then there is strip till farming, which is a solution to no-till farming. That let's say this is crop residue. Kindly clear crop residue in strips where you have to actually sow the seeds. Let's say on 3 strips, 1, 2, and 3, you have to sow down the seeds. So clear your entire crop residue in these 3 strips only, and crop residue should be there here, here, and in rest of the portions. In these 3 strips, there should be no crop residue, and you can sow your seeds there. So rest of the soil gets conserved because there is no soil erosion and moisture can be conserved. All right. Now coming to XC2 practices, that is where you take your crop residue to somewhere else. Where can you take it for? Biomass power generation. There are biogas or biomass power plants in many rural areas. So crop residue can be collected by the operators of biomass power generation, by the operators of these power stations, and then they can use that crop residue to produce electricity or heat. It seems to be a viable solution. They can pay some rent to the farmer or some fee to the farmer for supplying his crop residue, and it can be that crop residue can be there to produce heat and electricity. But do we have biomass power plants everywhere in the country? Can every farmer avail these facilities? That is questionable. But yes, we are writing it as one of the approaches to crop residue management. Then there is animal feed. Again, animal feed, I think this is very clear. Farmers can send their crop residue as animal feed for cattle. Now the question here is that many of the times for some crops, crop residue is not edible by cattle. For example, when paddy or rice is harvested, it is said multiple times, it has been said multiple times, that the residue of paddy crop is not edible for cows, buffaloes, and other milk animals. So that is the problem there. Though it has been proven that yes, it is very much edible and very much nutritious, but again, problems with regards to crop residue being animal feed, they arise from time to time. Then the third one is composting. That means you actually convert your crop residue into compost. You mix it with organic materials, so that such as manure, leaves, and grass clippings. The fourth one, very practical one, is biochar production. Now biochar, basically it is a type of charcoal which is produced by heating crop residues. So it can be it can be again used to improve soil fertility, water retention, and crop productivity. It can be used as a manure later once your crop but again, some factories are required for this which are not available. Then there are some industrial uses, that for example your paper is being made, textiles, that is clothes are being made, and building materials. They can be created with the help of crop residue, but again, linking of farmers with such industries, that is the problem. We understand that yes, for industrial uses we can send crop residue, for biochar production we can send, but a farmer who is ready to sow the next seeds in, like, let's say 1 week, will he wait for companies or industries to visit him? So all this planning has to be done. Factories or industries have to be set in vicinity of rural areas, or some linkages have to be developed so that all farmers can successfully send their crop residue, or in fact sell their crop residue to earn some money to these industries for biomass power generation, animal feed, composting, biochar production, and industrial uses. All right, so that ends the first part, that is body part 1 of our answer. Now before moving on to body part 2, let me know, I see a lot of comments coming here, so let me just check these comments, and if you have any additions to make, kindly let me know in the chat section. Yes, Ananya, that is very right, and that's very good on your part if you did that. Yes, see, Satyan is saying that we have seen both the Supreme Court of India and Government of India passing laws and orders for farmers of Punjab and Haryana to not burn parali or stubble or crop residue. But still, a lot of improvement has not been seen. Also, most of the times, Punjab government do not comply with the orders. That is, that is another discussion. But why stubble burning incidents, they are not coming down, or why crop residue management is a problem? I will tell this to you once we study government initiatives. So till here, what we've done, we've studied methods methods. Are there any methods for crop residue management? Yes, there are methods. They have been asked and we have answered them. Has the government done anything for crop residue management? Yes. In the way forward, we'll talk about that despite of all these efforts and methods being in place, why don't we see changes? As soon as winter takes in, the air quality index in cities like Delhi, that is national capital territory of Delhi, or capital of Delhi, it starts to decline. And the prime reason which is said is that, there are thermal power plants, and the biggest one is that there is stubble burning happening in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, that is adjoining states. So why is that happening? We'll cover that in the way forward. Let's look at government initiatives. So this it says that Punjab Agriculture University mobilizes local farmers against crop residue burning. So mobilization of local farmers is happening. So basically awareness with the help of locals. If your neighbor comes to you and says that please don't burn stubble, then obviously you will be more convinced as compared to some minister in the TV screen talking to you that please don't burn stubble this year. You'll be more impacted by a neighbor or relative or a friend of yours as compared to anyone else. So Punjab Agriculture University has done that this year. Then Rajasthan Agricultural Department has also taken steps to discourage farmers from burning stubble. See, it appears to be a very, a cold topic. It appears to be a very boring topic at times, but this has a high potential to be asked in your exams because, it is so much in news and it is so much important for the country. Then what are the government initiatives? There are 4 that we will be covering. It all started with the NGT, National Green Tribunal Order of 2015. Now, what is National Green Tribunal? Basically, there are some areas in your country which require quick judgments. For example, in the field of environment, we require quick judgments. So for such matters, special courts or tribunals have been created by the Supreme Court or High Court, not by the courts, but by the central government from time to time. And one of them is National Green Tribunal. It looks after environmental matters. And yes, the decisions of tribunals, they are binding and they cannot be challenged in lower courts. They can be challenged only in high courts and Supreme Courts. So yes, binding orders were actually passed by NGT, National Green Tribunal, in 2015. And what were the orders? NGT actually prohibited agriculture residue burning in any part of National Capital Territory of Delhi and the adjoining states, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. If you look at map of Delhi, there are 4 states which are actually covering it, which are neighboring Delhi, and they carry out extensive agricultural practices. So in all these states, stubble burning, that was banned by this NGT order of 2015. Talk lightly about it if a separate question regarding government initiatives is asked. This part is very, very tough. So it is, unlikely that they will ask you it as a separate question, but you should know about these initiatives at least whenever a question regarding CRM, crop residue management, is seen in the exam. All right. So now the second one is framework of Commission for Air Quality Management. Now, what is this? Basically a statutory body. That means a body with the help of a parliamentary act has been created. It is known as CAQM, and it has created a framework to manage air pollution in Delhi. That why air pollution in Delhi rises in winters, why it is rising from time to time. So as part of that framework, states like Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, they have created their own policy to manage stubble burning or crop residue management. So this is just for your information. Do not include this in your answer. That CAQM is a statutory body formed under Commission for Agriculture for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas Act of 2021. So this is additional information. Do not include this in your answer. So basically what this organization has done, it has provided a framework to tackle the problem of air pollution due to stubble burning in Delhi and adjoining areas. So, and which states have taken guidance from this framework? Punjab and NCR states, and other states of Haryana, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, they have also taken the guidelines from there. The third one is here is crop residue management scheme. Now, so much hustle is going on, so much chaos is going on, then obviously the government will come to help. And how can the government help? The government can provide machinery, the government can provide money. So yes, in this scheme, which was launched in 2018, the government has actually come out with some financial help. What is the financial help? Financial assistance up to 50% is provided to farmers for the purchase of machines like Happy Seeder, Super SMS Attachment, Rotavators, Super Seeders. Now, what are these machines? That even when you have stubble lying on your field, जब आपके field पर पराली पड़ी भी है या crop residue is there, still you can sow the seeds for next cycle with the help of these machines. Now, these machines are expensive to buy, so the central government said that we will provide 50% of assistance to farmers, and it also motivated state government that please provide rest of the assistance to farmers for buying these machines. But then the state government said that the money, this 50% money to us has not come, and hence it is a financial burden on us. So there are loopholes there in the scheme. And it also provides 80% financial assistance to FPOs, that is farmer producer organizations and panchayats, that please buy some machines for yourself, for the entire village, or for all the farmers who are part of your FPO, and then give these machines on rent to individual farmers, let's say for 1 day, for 2 days. All right, so that from develop some custom hiring centers from where farmers can rent these machines for few hours or few days. Okay, so on the individual level also they're providing financial assistance, and on the group level, that is on panchayat level or farmer producer organization levels, they're providing financial assistance. Now there are revised guidelines for off-site crop residue management, and this is important for us. Why? Because these guidelines have come in July 2023 itself, and we always tell you that current affairs of past 6 months, let's say, they are important for your phase 2 examination. So cover these, and if you're sitting for the next examination cycle, again crop residue management will be in news. So don't worry that this is going to be a past affair, not a current affair. This is going to be in news next year as well, because it has been in news. I have been studying it for the past 10 years. Before that I was not preparing, so it is going to be news next year also, and it is going to hold great importance for you. So revised guidelines for off-site crop residue management have come up. Basically, off-site means XC2 process. So here what the government is doing, they're trying to help people to collect their crop residue so that this crop residue can be taken to industries for conversion into something else. Now, what is that something else? These guidelines, these are very effective guidelines. Kindly take a note. These have been issued for, again, the same 4 states which are actually blamed from time to time for air pollution in Delhi: Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. That these guidelines are for 4 states. What will it do? XC2 management of crop residue. That alternative uses of crop residue and develop a paddy straw supply chain. It will help in making paddy straw available for various end users. Now, what were the end users in our XC2? Let's say biomass, power generation industries. So power generation, heat generation, bio-CNG and bioethanol production, where crop residue of paddy, that is rice, it can be used. So the government will create facilities to provide such industries with the crop residue. It will collect it from farmers. So such guidelines have been released by government. So again, they seem very promising to us. So these 4 are the broad initiatives which have been taken by government to manage crop residue. They appear very long, but these were intentionally kept long by me for your understanding. Okay, so this timeline, if it is clear to you, even if this question is not asked separately, you can use such points in your answers and you can get very, very good marks and ensure your selection. Now, moving on to the way forward part, and where this question was coming, that ma'am, still so much crop residue burning is happening, stubble burning happens at such a large rate. Now, what is the problem? Implementation of schemes is the problem. The problem is that farmers have very less time and very less manpower to wait and to rent those machines to be able to sow the seeds for next cropping cycle. The time is very less. They do not have enough labor, and nature also offers them very short window for the sowing cycle. Also, these machines which can be used for direct sowing of seeds even when crop is lying on the ground, these are expensive to buy or to even rent. So that's why, and many states have complained that the 50% share of central government has not been received. So because of these problems, and there was one additional problem that farmers feel, farmers have this traditional belief that if they burn the crop residue, then it will add to soil fertility. Now, that is a contentious issue. Research says that it does not add to soil fertility. In fact, it destroys it. But farmers have this traditional belief which they want to hold on to, and that is where the solution lies. If you're able to convince farmers, if you're able to develop solutions for them which are affordable for them, which are time paced for them, then obviously this crop residue management will get better with time, and the government, it can help in supply chain management. Okay, collection of crop residue from the farm, take it to industries, convert it into electricity. That's what the government can do, nothing else. All right, so these are the problems which we still have. This is not body part 1, this is an extension of body part 1. Now in the way forward, that just highlight that despite of the above initiatives or various methods, a large chunk of crop residue is just burnt off. So now talk about some of the problems in just one line. What are the reasons? Paucity of time with farmers, that is lack of time with farmers before sowing wheat in the Rabi season. False traditional belief that burning crop residue will restore nutrients back to the soil. Shortage of on-farm laborers, yes, that's a problem. Non-affordability and non-inclination to invest in modern machines are some of the reasons responsible. Now, what can be the solution here? Just say coordination of all the stakeholders. Even when you don't have a good conclusion, say coordination of all the stakeholders. Then think about all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Farmers, scientists, agricultural universities. Your government is the stakeholder. Involve private sector into it. All right. Optimally utilizing existing resources and establishing appropriate supply chain through a cluster-based approach in the vicinity of various industries utilizing the crop residue. It will help in burning. It will help in bringing such incidents of crop burning down. And then just reiterate. How do you reiterate that the guidelines which have been released by government recently for off-site crop residue management, they seem to be promising here. Then again, talk about coordination, no crop, just say that there is one point I would like to add here, that there are so many methods, but for every field and every season, there is a different method of crop residue management that has to be used. So you can add that no crop residue management solution is preferable in every situation. So farmers, they have to use their wisdom, they have to choose, and hand in hand, the government has to make policies, not anti-farmers, but pro-farmers, which actually help them, manage crop residue better. So best in site-specific solutions need to be developed. Talk about the role of scientists and government with active involvement of private sector. Read this entire answer for yourself when you get the Telegram PDF, when you get the PDF for this entire session tomorrow on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is given in the description. I'm displaying the question again. Kindly read this. We provide you free evaluation services, but these services, they are active only for 48 hours. So in the next 48 hours, kindly post your answers, write your answers to this question, post them in the YouTube comment section. And in the next 48 hours itself, you will get free evaluation, free comprehensive evaluation for the answers that you post. Not just this, a lot of students ask me, ma'am, can I copy the content that you're teaching here? Yes, you can copy the content. But our aim is that before you sit for your exam, you should be able to remember the content that you are studying with us, and you should also be able to make some additions if your exam is, let's say, next year. For NABARD Grade A aspirants sitting for phase 2, I do not, have such demands, but yes, if your exam is far away, kindly revise 2 or 3 times all the content that we are doing. This is the 20th lecture of Perspective 360. Kindly revise and write your answers in the comment section. If you have any feedback for this initiative, if this is helping you out, again, post in the comment section or write to us at hello@edutap.co.in. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. All right, so if there are any doubts, kindly let me know in the chat section. No, Satyan, I'm not. So I think wealth from waste plants can be set up. Yes, Ghansham, this term, wealth from waste plants, this can be used in your answer. Kindly do use it. In history, we have learned about John cultivation, which said it helped improving fertility of jhum cultivation. Yes, shifting agriculture, there are different sides to it. But when some field has to be recurrently pressurized for more and more crops year after year, then the ideas of jhum cultivation cannot be used here. Yes, alphabet, it would be seasonal electricity, but for other seasons, we can, rely on some other sources of producing electricity. All right. Yes, Ananya, absolutely. Please remember that. Please remember it for RBI. So I'm not receiving any other doubts. I'll call this a day now, and I'll see you on Monday 5 p.m. Kindly post your answers in the next 48 hours. That is Monday 5 p.m. No, it is Sunday 5 p.m. Post them by Sunday 5 p.m. And Ananya, similar topics are important for you. All right, take care all of you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you at Monday 5 p.m. it is. Take care.